Okay, hello everyone. Here we are back again for another Elrond Talks, episode 12. Hope everyone's doing all right out there in the Elrond world and crypto world. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. First thing is, I don't know if you saw yesterday, we had a mainnet upgrade, which is going to be paving the way for the Myer exchange. So I just want to congratulate the team and everybody else out there. Um, Also, there's a call to action there with the exchange. We need people to test. So if you can go out there and test the exchange on the test net as much as you can and fill out any bugs you find in the Google Sheet provided. You can go to the Meyer Exchange group for the instructions how to do that. But please, if there's anyone out there with some time, please test, 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 and test again. Okay, so without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Alina from Everstake, who's the segment lead, and today she's going to be with us talking about what she does and some of the community stuff, and of course Elrond. So take it away.
Hey everyone. Thanks, Kevin, for invitation. And probably I should start from the some intro. I'm Alina from Ukraine. Everstake is the Ukrainian company. I started working at Everstake a year ago in September 2020. And before the Everstake, I was like, I knew nothing about the blockchain space and the crypto space. I knew some notions like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, some blockchain exists, and that's it. And it was a big challenge for me to learn this a lot of info about the this technology. It was quite hard. My path, the beginning of my path was quite hard, but it is possible, and you can see me here. So I started as the account manager. Also, I had the duties of the social media manager, and approximately in December, I started working as the blockchain manager. As our company introduced this position, we decided that we need to make the separate teams for each blockchain to manage all this information, which was and is incoming from different chains. And I started working with Elrond and a couple of other networks. Yeah. What's more? And until now, I'm working with five blockchains and the Elrond. I can say that actually what's interesting, that's actually my crypto experience as the person who bought some assets and participated in all this staking and buying the crypto assets. And the Elrond was the first blockchain that inspired me to buy some coins, some crypto assets. So it was my first experience. I remember the day that I opened the MoonPay and tried to buy some the tiniest parts of the Elrond. And when it was the success, it was like boom in my head. So I can buy the crypto assets. Wow. And I started staking and started my my path with the Elrond.
That's awesome. That's great to have you here with Elrond. Before we get moving, I'm just going to get you to your video is actually frozen, so I'm just going to reset your video side. So just
Mm-hmm.
give me a moment to do that. So I'm just going to end your call and call you right back, and you should be fine after that. So just 2 seconds. Sorry guys for this. Technology is always a thing. Okay, so there we go. And we're back to the conversation. Okay, so I think we're good now. So if anyone can just let us know if you can see Alina now without the frozen. That's good. I think it's fine on my end. I can tell, so we're good. Okay, good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
if you
see. Yeah.
just, I think because you're using the web app, if you just move your mouse every now and then, it won't freeze. I think that's kind of what's
Mm-hmm.
happening because you're using the web-based app. Okay, so we're back and all good. So thanks for your introduction, Alina. That was really awesome, and it's awesome to know that you found Elrond early on. There's a lot of us out there who have, and we're really happy to have you out there. And I think from a community standpoint, I talk for everyone. Your contributions and everything you do is really appreciated. So thanks for coming on. Um, so before we get moving forward, there is one thing that we always like to ask here on Elrond Talks, and we just need for you to prove that you're not a robot. So tell us something maybe about your hobbies or something you do in the real world uh, that isn't, all blockchain.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I don't have some hobby, some activity that I do from day to day, but I like sports, like common answer, but I like cycling and skating, ice skating and roller skating, and I'm planning to do to learn the tricks, like no, the tricks of the roller skater. This amazes me. I can do a bit, but needs improvement. Also, I like I'm the gym person. Because of the COVID, I stopped my I stopped exercising, but this month I decided I have to I have to go again because it's the place where mm, well, all these stressful situations that I have in my life, the situations just are muted for an hour that I'm exercising, and that's awesome for me. And the thing I like doing in stressful situation also, which is quite of a hobby for me, I like. Do you know the coloring books?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And I have the coloring books for the adults, like a big canvas with a print, and I have to color all these tiny sections in different colors. And when I finish, I have the full picture. I'm not the person I'm not the artist. I can't draw the pictures, unfortunately, by myself. But this coloring canvas is the solution for me because also when I'm coloring it, my head is just it's empty. I don't think about anything, and
That's awesome.
it's the thing that I need. When you ended your working day, when you have some spare hour, and I'm like, I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like before we get into the talk, and that roller disco stuff sounds really cool. I've always wanted to be able to do cool stuff on roller discos, um,
Yeah.
but in terms of in terms of just de-stressing and that sort of stuff and taking care of yourself, you bring up a really good point. That oftentimes people don't even think about within the crypto industry and blockchain industry or just out there in general. It's this whole work, work, work attitude and stay up all night, don't take care of yourself. But if you do just kind of do something that, removes your head from any stress, in your case, coloring, in my case, I listen to drum and bass. And it's just really fast, and it just shuts my brain off, and I actually find that that's very therapeutic and helps me helps me forget about what's going on in the real world. So I'm glad you brought that up. And to anyone watching, remember to take care of yourself too, because you're only your best self unless your mind is free. So don't let the stress build up. Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the drum and bass music, I wanted to mention that the drum and bass music I like also, and it's so you exercise, you're lifting the weight, and drum and bass fits perfectly.
Yeah, I think you've frozen again, so
Uh,
we might have to just
I'm moving.
yeah, I'm just gonna call you back. Sorry. Uh, okay, apologies for that, guys. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. If it does, we'll just keep going. Okay, so um, let's just talk about what it is you do as a segment lead for Everstake exactly, and what that job actually entails.
Uh, yeah. I'm sorry, this distortion some.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah. I think your connection is just coming in and out. You're good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. At Everstake, we have the separate teams for every chain. Uh, this was done because of the amount of chains we have currently. So we have about more than 30 chains in mainnet and 10 chains in testnet. And also our research group, research department has about, let me think, about 40 chains in the research currently. So pretty a lot of work, and a lot of information is incoming, and you have to manage everything, you have to monitor everything. So I'm frozen, yeah?
Yeah, just keep going. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Then monitoring the networks, of course. We decided to make the separate teams for each chains. So we have the blockchain manager and the DevOps, who is responsible for the some specific chain. And I started working as the blockchain manager, and currently I'm the segment lead, who has I'm in control of the one segment in our blockchain. So at Everstake, we have layer 1 blockchains, layer 2 blockchains, Cosmos-based blockchains, and etc. And I'm in charge of the layer 1 blockchains. I manage the relations, communicate with the community, investors, and all this stuff. And also, I manage the blockchain managers who help me work with the networks to produce content and stuff like this.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's a really cool approach. And obviously Elrond being one of your layer ones that you take care of, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's awesome that you guys have that approach. And being Eversake and being around for so long, you've had the ability to build that kind of structure. So how have you found the success with building a community um, with that system in general, just not even Elrond? Do you find it easier that you have dedicated teams to build your community out?
Actually, yeah, because it's quite impossible when one or two person manage 40 blockchains and be around in the community, know what is going on. And the updates, for example, I'm doing, as you could know, the Elrond month recap videos, and the amount of updates in Elrond, it's it's amazing. So a lot of updates, and currently we have a bit less updates than in the previous month. But imagine that you have 40 Elrond with tons of information, with different communities, because I can say that the communities differ, the crypto community, the blockchain communities of the different networks, they are different. And especially the Elrond community, I can say that comparing to other communities, it has some other atmosphere, if I can say like that, because it's something different from all other chains. And one person cannot manage everything, cannot be everywhere. Thus, the blockchain managers are the person who help the some specific blockchain communities with the educational materials, with some other content. And I think that is the only probably way where you can manage all this tons of information.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess one of the sub things that you're saying there is that Elrond's amazing and it's always busy working, right?
That's totally true,
Yeah.
because I think that the Elrond team maybe there's something like a robot, because I was I'm with Elrond for a year almost, and the rhythm, how it's developing, doing more every day, new partnership, new updates, new information, and you're just, I'm just thinking, how is it possible? So they're not the rhythm. It's just
Yeah, I ask
amazing.
myself the same question every day. They're robots. There's been vampire theories out there, right? Because they're from Romania, which they obviously aren't, but because they're always working at night, but they're also working during the day, right? So it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really are amazing, and it's awesome to hear the angle in which Everstake has taken, because being a starting staking provider, we kind of have multiple chains and all that sort of stuff as well. But we only have two. But if we had 40 Elrons, we need to segment everything out, right? So I think that's really cool. But yeah, like not all chains are robots or vampires as we call them, right? Um, what about just before we get into this? So what about just the
Yeah,
history of
that's also true.
yeah? So what about like the history of Everstake and how they came about to choosing Elrond?
Everstake started from about 2019-18. We started as the baker in Tezos, validator in Tezos, Icon, and Cosmos. It was these networks were one of the networks which were working on the proof of stake consensus algorithm, because back then days, not many blockchains were accepting the algorithm. And we started our experience, our history from these chains. And currently we have in this, for example, in Tezos, we have about 45 delegators. In Cosmos also more than 50,000 delegators. And we also produce the, let me think, reduce the explorers. We made the explorers because the development is very important in the blockchain sphere. So you have to make some contributions to the community. You have to make some developments. So we made the Tezos tracker, we made the Icon vote monitor, the Cosmos scan, and currently we have joined a lot of new chains, and we are producing more and more development solutions for this chain, as we did, for example, with Elrond, and with Oasis also we have, and some are in process currently. With Elrond, we are the Genesis validator, the Genesis staking provider. Mm, and I was not actually the person who was in charge of the decision whether to join the network or no. But our research group decided, they met with the Elrond team. The Elrond team explained, showed their attitude, and our research team decided that this is the project we should join in. This is the project which have ideas and have the future. But a lot of people actually have the ideas, and probably I can say that some ideas or just the idea doesn't worth anything. But can you fulfill this idea? Can you make this idea the reality? And the show they are coming into reality every day, and the Maillard decks. I remember back the days when I was waiting with everyone the Maillard mobile wallet launch. I was like, whoa, what is going on? What will be in that wallet? That was amazing. And now with the Maillard decks, and I'm sure that development ideas are in progress currently.
Yeah, for sure. And I think
Yeah.
I think that's a
Can
good
you hear
point.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll reconnect you and I'll talk to those points. Just hold on a sec. Um, but yeah, like the general idea here with with Elrond is that yeah, Elrond do what they say, right? And that's from what I'm hearing from you, Alina, is that Everstakes look for projects that are groundbreaking, that are going to do what they say they're going to do, and actually produce results. There's too many projects out there that are, quote unquote proof of stake, or saying they're going to do things, but they don't, right? And I think the thing that Elrond has the most is its ability to actually achieve their goals and follow through what they're going to say they're going to do. Good things come with time as well, and I think being patient also plays a really huge role in the development of any blockchain. Um, but with a team with a team like Elrond there and partners, like Everstake and some of the other Samsung and all that stuff around there, promoting them as well, you have this ecosystem that's kind of just unstoppable. And around that, you get the community members, like we have here, and like the Everstake community that's probably came over to Elrond, some of the Elrond over to Everstake, the Helios community, all the other staking providers community come together and create this really strong project. So it's great to know that that's what Everstake saw, right? They didn't just see a monetary win; they saw more of a project that they wanted to stand behind, right? So and I think you said for yourself, you found Elrond quite early on. Um, and so for you, when you got put into the Elrond project, were you already an Elrond supporter? Like a year ago?
Sorry, you just distorted.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. So a year ago, um, did you
Yeah.
find Elrond before you became working on Elrond?
No, no. I started working with Elrond, and that's the when I learned about it.
So about this time last year, which was a great time to be
Yeah,
finding Elrond.
yeah. It was December, so in a month it will be. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's talk about how some things that you've done to engage communities and build communities, and how you keep the Everstate community engaged and how you engage with the Elrond community.
Uh, Actually, we choose as our, so to say, goal, as the enlightenment, if I can say like that, or to educate the non-crypto community, the beginners. We produce a lot of the educational materials on the different themes, on different blockchains, explaining how everything works, making the acquaintance with the blockchain, acquaintance of the some beginner with the blockchain, make it more smooth, and explain the details. So because I remember me a year ago, I did not understand. I did not understand the specifics, and I was afraid what is going on, and something like this. So the educational materials are very important, and we make an emphasis on this also. We are, for example, the Elrond monitor, the release of the Elrond monitor, we made the some hide and seek game. Also, I decided that it would be a great idea for the community to to have some kind of this game. Also, great idea to make the contests, some AMA sessions. It is very important for the community also to know the plans and ideas of the validator, probably, or the blockchain they are in. The video content also, for example, I'm currently producing the Elrond month recaps, because as I said earlier, Elrond has so many updates, like every day almost, so you can just forget about all that stuff that was going on in the last month, and some kind of this recaps could be very useful for the community. And this is the reason also why we need these separate teams, because, for example, I by myself cannot do this for the Elrond, for, I don't know, for Mina, for Solana, and other chains. So we need more people to make more, to make the content the quality content, so we could make the content that the community wants.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen some of your recap videos, which you just started a couple weeks ago. Um,
I met only the two.
oh, you made two. Yeah, yeah. Well, they're still good. Like, yeah, and I think I think the point is like there's so much going on, and and yeah, if there were 40 Elrons, you wouldn't be able to even do any of that. So it's I think any content that you can bring out there is much appreciated, and I think people really appreciate having the quality content and stuff out there, and that's what keeps people engaged. With the Elrond monitor as well. I mean that was a big step forward, and can you tell us how you've got people to engage with the Elrond monitor?
As we just recently released the Elrond monitor, the first step was this hide and seek game, so people could, so to say, to combine the some interesting parts, and some part with that people could explore the Elrond monitor and see the features, how it built. Yeah, we started the Elrond monitor. The I think that it was the spring, and it took pretty a lot of time and the effort to make this product. Or maybe I'm hoping the question in the future.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's well seen, and the amount of work that's been put into it. Yeah, I remember you guys telling all the validators you were making it and stuff, and it's came out excellent. And I think the hide and seek game and the engagement and rewards that you provide to the community is what strengthens the Elrond monitor and the community, right? And I've noticed you do it with some other chains as well. And you guys are always out there building a community, building a discussion, and educating. And the hide and seek was is it still running, the hide and seek, or is that finished?
It's
Oh, it's
finished.
finished. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So, but it's just little things like that, right? That keep the community engaged, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and all that stuff. Do you guys have any plans for any further tools at all? I know you're not DevOps or the dev side, but you might have some insight on that.
Yeah. We are for the Elrond currently. We have the Elrond monitor, maintaining the supporting the Elrond monitor and bringing more features to the Elrond monitor. And currently, we are in the process of developing on also Solana, and some other chains also. I can I can go in details about the Solana product because it's only the
Yeah,
beginning.
and it's
So
more of an Elrond thing, anyways. Here, so yeah,
yeah, no, yeah. On Elrond, currently I'm personally in the progress of my art translation, bring more diversity.
yeah.
A lot of work to do, but I'm about 35 or 40% translated, and
And you're translating it to Ukrainian?
into Russian, because here in Ukraine we speak Ukrainian and Russian also,
Hmm.
and probably in the future Ukrainian maybe also. First it will be Russian because the Russian community is pretty much bigger than the Ukrainian for the Elrond.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Russian. I get it. Yeah, because yeah, I actually know that you guys speak Russian, but it's some words are drastically different. They're the same word, but they mean entirely different things between Ukrainian and Russian. I think.
It's totally different. So the Ukrainian person can understand the Russian-speaking person, but the Russian-speaking person cannot understand
Yeah,
the Ukrainian
yeah. That's what I've
language.
been told.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about your relationship with the Elron team? And how you found working with the Elron team?
Uh, One word. Awesome. I adore it because the Elrond team is very supportive. They helped us throughout all this, our collaboration. They helped with the content. They help with the, of course, Elrond monitor. Um, they bring more ideas, the feedback, and it's very valuable as the Sever and Lucian and all the Elrond team. They are doing such a great job uh, because actually in the blockchain space, is everything, and the team should not be 100% in charge of the blockchain. So the blockchain, the network has to go on its own. But when the chain is just launching, the core team is the one who is setting the rhythm, setting the path for the community, for the ecosystem, for the validator community. And I suppose that they have made and they are doing currently such a great work because, as I said earlier, the community of Elrond is so much different from other communities. And of course, as the validator, I can say that the validator community is also different because here you can just go into the group and ask like, guys, I have some problem, can you help with this or that, do you have this situation? Everyone will just, oh yeah, I will help you, of course. It's not the such a common thing for the validator community throughout all other networks.
Yeah, it's
And
not
I
common at
think
all.
that
It's not
it's
common at all,
because
actually.
the Elrond team, he,
Go ahead. I was just saying it's not that common at all to.
uh, hello?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I was, I thought this it some was
Oh,
problems with the internet.
oh no.
Uh, uh, it's not common. We are the validators. My experience that not in all blockchains there are the validating community. So there are validators, but they are not the community, unfortunately. Yeah. And the relations with the Elrond team, the Everstake Elrond, is very good because, as I said earlier, they are super supportive. They will assist if you need something. They will explain. They will help, and Everstake will also will come for to help Elrond whenever they need.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Ouron advantage, and like we've been involved with a few test nets, and we're with another chain, and yeah, there's a lot of talk there going on between those chains, but what and there are strong communities, but the validator communities aren't as strong as the everyday conversations going on in the validators group, and people constantly coming in, or even the developers group. It's just constant, and there's always someone there to help. Whereas trying to
Yeah.
find people to help in some of the other chains, not the ones we're involved, but some of the other ones that we were test netting on, it was really hard to find people to help, and so we just kind of decided to just stick with the two chains that we're doing, Elron Injective, and just stay that way, because mostly because communities, and there's help there, and being a small provider, and with no desires to become an Everstake size, we just said, look, if the community doesn't exist, then that's against our general ethos, and I think communities everything in this space, for longevity. You could go
Yeah.
start a bunch of chains. There's tons of Cosmos chains out there available. You can go like even Everstake could probably start on another 10, 20 chains tomorrow if they wanted to. But at the end of the day, it's about quality, community, and the ones with the people who are active are the ones that are going to succeed. So I think you made a really good point there. So another question: how have you kept the Everstake delegators, to stay with Everstake, not just with Elrond, because the thing with Everstake is you guys have tons of delegators across tons of chains, but your users are sticky. They stay with you, and they support you, and engage you. I know, because you guys engage with Elrond, all your delegators there. I actually delegate a bit to Everstake myself. I have it spread out. Um, but I think it'd be interesting to know, what it is you do exactly, to keep people engaged with the brand and with the chain. In this example, Elrond.
Uh, First of all, thanks for the for the stake, for the delegation. That's the wise move to diversify your portfolio of the staking providers, and I advise everyone to do this because support the decentralization and support the smallest staking providers also. The first thing that comes to my mind, and it's the major thing that matters, is the reputation, because everyone knows that Everstake is the reputable validator, is the reputable provider, which pays with the reward, whose uptime is almost it's 99.99%, and you can be sure that when you stake with Everstake, you will get the reward, or you will get the refund. For example, when we started validation in Mina, there is some randomness, and we did not produce any blocks, and we could not pay our delegators from the rewards because there were no rewards, and we decided that we have to pay from our own funds to refund the people's rewards, because actually it was not our fault because the randomness, but we decided that our delegators they were expecting for the rewards, and we have to cover that. So the major thing is the reputation. It's also the communication with the community. You have to the delegators, they delegate their stake, and you act on behalf of them. So you have to report and be as much transparent as it's possible. So you have to report about your movement, what you're doing, why you're doing so, and people can see this, that you're transparent and you're not aligned to the community just, and that's it. Also, the educational material, because people are entering the crypto space and they sometimes do not know what to do, and that's okay. We understand this, and that is why the educational material is very important, and we produce it. I suppose that's the major things that are important for the staking provider.
Yeah, and that's the reputation and transparency bit that that I was kind of getting at, and I know some other providers in Elrond compensated some of their when they were waiting for their nodes to go live. I think they did various things. They put 0% fees for the first month to make back people's rewards. In your case, it wasn't with Elrond, but you did it for someone else. But that also for the Elrond community, that shows that if something were to happen, Everstake would step in and make sure that it's delegators first. The Helios, we have a reserves fund that we've created to help weather the storm, or have funds there in order to cover these sort of incidents as well. And I think it's really important, especially with transparency. Any movement you do, everything you do is going to be looked at very closely by people, and I think it's so important that you're honest and straightforward. So that's really good, and I think again everyone in Elrond and the Elrond community definitely appreciates it, and appreciates all the hard work that's going in from yourself and Everstake. Um, yeah, so we don't have many questions today, but we do have one question here. How long does it take to build an Everstake, and what efforts have been done after your success? And yeah, like how long does it build an Everstake? Which is a pretty interesting
Uh,
question.
how long? We are on the market for about 4 years, and 2 years ago we were the reputable validators in less than 40 chains, but we were one of the best. So uh, uh, it is not about the time, but it is about the passion and the time you can spend on this, on your work. So your ideas how to do this, because it can take 5 years and you have no result, but it can take 1 year and you will be not the number one, but among the best. So it's about your passion.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I was hoping you were going
In
to
case
answer
of
that way.
Everstake, I can say that it's yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, something with the internet strange. Sorry. In terms of Everstake, as I mentioned earlier, I joined the Everstake company a year ago in September last year, and actually I didn't uh, was the Everstake. I was not the Everstake, the part of the Everstake company when they started, but I think it's about 2 years. It took 2 years to be one of the reputable validators, and now we are joining the more and more networks, and lots of networks are just inviting us because they know that the Everstake is one of the biggest validators and one of the most reputable validators who do their service as it's needed to be done.
Yeah, and I think it's not about time necessarily, because you could measure time in if I did 8 hours a day work, and you did 16 hours a day's work, then what I did in a year
Yeah.
it would be 2 years technically of your time. But time's not a way to look at it. It's the passion. It's the getting involved at the ground level and just getting the work done
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and pushing those limits. And then then yeah, you see your delegators increase and all that sort of stuff. And you know, you were also Everstake was also around right at the perfect time, and as well, right when everything blew up in proof of stake.
Yeah, actually, it also matters to be in the right place in the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's a question here. Just on this is just a Elrond general question that I can answer. It's just is the stake available for only 10 years? And when was the last time gold will be minted? So what this person's asking is there's a 10 year schedule of the rewards that are being released with Elrond, and that's coming from the foundation. And after 10 years, he wants to know if there will be no more rewards. So in 10 years' time, um, and I personally think it'll be sooner, but the fees that are collected from every transaction also go towards the validators. And so the goal is within 10 years, the amount of transactions per second will offset the foundational rewards, and then we'll be earning rewards from transaction fees there from there forward. So no, it's not only 10 years, and we have Maiar coming soon, and transactions are going to go up. So it's all about getting our transactions per second up, and the more transactions we get per second, the more rewards there will be, and APRs could, in theory, increase. So I hope that answered your question, Wayne. Um, okay. I don't know if there's any other questions out there. There's not many. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Do you have anything you want to ask or tell anyone?
Um, I think we covered pretty much events that is going on with the Maya translation, the Elrond monitor, and the stuff like this. Maybe uh, we can discuss the Elrond developments that you like. Maybe you have something. Personally, I like the idea of the Elrond jobs. It's amazing. Maybe you have something like this.
What's my favorite thing? Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Elrond Jobs is great. I like Elrond Tax a lot as well.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I actually like
Was
them all, like
about
Elrond Scan, Elrond Monitor. What am I most excited about? There's a few. I'm not a huge NFT person, and don't get mad at me, community, but I am kind of excited of what's going to come out of the NFT stuff. I've had the pleasure of talking to some of the people, and I'm excited about a couple of those projects and what they aim to achieve. Um, Obviously, I'm really excited about the Meyer exchange as well,
yeah.
and what that's going
Mhm.
to bring. And yeah, and then I know of some people, I really like what Moonlorian is doing, which is they're just they're basically helping implement projects for people, and there's some developers and they're building that. And yeah, and there's a few things out there that are being worked on that you'll hear about soon from a few of us staking providers that are getting together to potentially do something exciting for the community in the form of some kind of maybe hackathon or something like that. But nothing's been set in stone yet, but that'll be coming soon as well. Um,
That's awesome. The hackathon.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an idea that's being thrown around, and we're in the process of doing it. But it's a wide. It's not just a hackathon. It's a much
Mm-hmm.
bigger project. So that we're just getting talks. So it's a bit of a.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who's watching, you're lucky enough to hear that here. But yeah, it's still not official. But we will be getting that out in the coming weeks. And I think a lot of staking providers will be part of it. And I'm sure Everstake will be too. Once we get it fixed up. We do have a question where Champ wants to know where did you get the idea for from where do you get the idea that we want to set Everstake name? So like what's Everstake mean? What's the Everstake name mean?
Oh, that's interesting question. I think I have to. I really don't know.
I can take a
Maybe I have
guess.
to ask the question to our CEO.
Yeah, well, I can take a guess. I
No,
mean, if you're
yeah.
ever staking, you're forever staking and earning money, right? So Everstake would be, stake your coins and earn money forever. Everstake. It's a good name. They're asking me how I named Helios. Helios staking is actually
Yeah.
just the name of a street of one of our Helios Street is the name of the street of one of our private investors. Well, actually, one of our one of our shareholders, actually, Michael, from Ireland. And he when we were talking on the phone, he's like, "What about Helios?" I'm like, "Great idea." And Helios being the sun, fire, and all that stuff. And I just
But it sounds so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just we ran with that name. It was actually I said what will we call it, and he said that, and then I said deal, and that was it. Didn't even go into a branding exercise or anything. So that's how Helios became what it is. Okay, well, I think we can just end there, I
That's awesome.
suppose.
That's awesome. It was
Yeah. I think we can just probably end there now if there's no more questions. I just want to say thank you from everyone in the community for coming on and giving us your thoughts on Everstake's role in Elrond and how they've worked with Elrond in the past and or how they are working with Elrond and how you found the community. I think this community is super super strong. And
yeah.
having someone like yourself, Alina, just even outside of Everstake is amazing. So if you did ever move on, don't leave Elrond because we'll find you.
We'll never move.
Yeah.
No, I'll run forever.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, if there's anything you wanted to say as closing remarks, go ahead.
Uh, uh, I want to for the invitation for this episode, for the participation in this episode. It was amazing. Um, and I probably would say that mm, diversify your portfolio and stake with different staking providers. Let's increase the decentralization.
Yep, good point. I've been saying that before we even started staking. I think my first stream, my point of topic was telling everyone to spread your risk. I think me personally, obviously the lion's share is in Helios, but I have 15 different providers of my own personal
Oh,
spread out.
wow.
Yeah, I just like when there's a lot of the smaller guys. with the lower APRs at first. I put some in there to help bring their pools up, and a lot of staking providers did that as well. And I just like having it. I like having it spread across and seeing which one earns more. They're all the same amount, so I can see kind of a little competition in my head every day when I log in to see my rewards and that sort of stuff. But yeah, decentralization is key, and it's good to know that
Yeah.
Everstake and yourself is out there promoting that decentralization and ensuring that we move forward with decentralization and not you know five big providers and turn into this giant centralized entity. And I think we're doing
Yeah,
that.
we have
And
to, yeah, decentralization is the key. That's I totally agree with this statement. Yeah.
yeah, and most staking providers are if not all are on that same idea. So it's thank you for saying that and letting people know to diversify. That's greatly appreciated from myself and the community. All right, so we'll just end there. Just to recap, we had Alina on from Everstake. We talked about the community. We talked about roller disco. We talked about how she's translating Meyer into Russian. We've talked about the Elrond monitor, and just building communities as a whole. So thanks for everyone who came. Again, sorry for the little bit of technical difficulties, but we made it through in the end. And stay tuned for the next one. Probably in the next couple weeks, myself or someone else will be back on, and I believe we're going to do our next episode on NFTs, and getting to know NFTs a bit better and understanding how they apply to Elrond and making sure that you do your own research and don't just jump in on every single pre-sale you see. So we're going to try and educate a bit more on the NFT world. Okay, so thanks again, and we'll see you later. See you, Alina. Okay.